Morning.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here to discuss why mentorship matters and the role it plays in building the next generation of out-of-home leaders. This conversation sits at the heart of this year's conference theme, the power of presence, in case you all didn't know. Because presence isn't just about being seen, it's about showing up for the next generation, for opportunity, and for each other.
So now, as the out-of-home industry transforms with new formats, data, technology, and audiences, we have to ask ourselves, who's at the table right now? Who's rising, waiting, still unseen? And what are we doing collectively to help them get there?
Mentorship is vital, and our medium grows more and more diverse. And we must cultivate that talent pipeline that reflects the diversity in the communities that we serve.
Speaking of presence, mentorship is presence in action. Action by leaders dedicating their time and their passion to the next generation, building the strongest currency we have, human capital. And this is what makes today's dialogue so special, as we are spotlighting a partnership that truly embodies this commitment.
We're honored to highlight this ongoing collaboration between Out of Home United, OAAA, and Big Brothers Big Sisters of America, a national organization with over a century-long legacy of mentorship and modern mission-driven vision for empowering today's youth. Through this partnership, we are nurturing emerging talent by not only showcasing the power of out of home, but also showing young people exactly who they can be within our industry.
Now, Big Brothers Big Sister operates in 230 markets across the US, where we'll have the opportunity to introduce all types of jobs that exist in our industry, from HR to accounting, sales, marketing, graphic design, field operations, and the list goes on, all with varying levels of education and training.
This initiative is designed to foster meaningful connections through laddered mentorship, aimed at creating a robust ecosystem within the out-of-home industry, and provide OAAA members with the opportunity to give back in their respective communities as an industry.
Happy to say that this year we welcomed our second class of delegates to the Future Leaders Program, 10 talented, awesome emerging professionals who are here with us at the conference to connect with industry leaders like yourselves, participate in mentorship sessions, and gain exclusive access to critical networking opportunities. So can everyone give a round of applause for our future leaders?
Can our leaders stand up, please? Thank you. And also, if we have any sponsors in the room, if you could also stand so everyone can recognize you. They wouldn't be here without all of our amazing sponsors, and we had so many this year, so thank you so much. Beyond the conference, thank you guys, you can have a seat. Beyond the conference, our future leaders will actively contribute to Out of Home United and engage in OAAA's new partnership with Big Brothers Big Sisters of America. They will play a pivotal role in shaping the group's initiative and plans behind championing diversity and inclusion across our industry.
Today, we'll hear from two outstanding leaders who have played a crucial role in bringing this partnership together. Dan Levi, Executive Vice President and Chief Marketing Officer of Clear Channel Outdoor, a longtime friend, and of course, a champion of Out of Home United. Dan has been a transformative force in the out-of-home space, blending marketing innovation with a steadfast commitment to inclusion and mentorship. Artis Stevens, President and CEO of Big Brother Big Sister, has been inspiring young people for over 25 years and has been pivotal in his efforts to revolutionize and grow strategic partnerships, expanding its reach and intensifying its focus on equity and innovation. Together, they will explore mentorship and how presence can genuinely change the future of our industry. So please join us in welcoming Dan Levi to the stage to kick off this essential conversation.
Appreciate it. Good morning, everyone. Apologies, I've lost my voice, so don't normally sound like this, but I'll do my best here. So for those of you who attended last year's OAAA conference, you might recall that I had the pleasure of introducing and speaking with our next speaker, Artis Stevens, who's the president and CEO of Big Brothers Big Sisters of America. So to quickly recap from last year, I spoke about the importance of out-of-home companies participating in corporate social responsibility programs, of supporting the causes that matter to our communities, to our team members, to the overall people and customers that are impacted by our business. And I also spoke about how I had the pleasure a couple years ago of seeing Artis speak at a conference, and I was so inspired by his passion, his focus on helping young people see and pursue their potential in life, and the role that mentorship plays in creating opportunity for young people. And then Artis shared his story last year with all of you guys, with the out-of-home industry. And he and I had a nice chat about the way that Big Brothers Big Sisters and Clear Channel have been working together to help advance the cause of mentorship. And then some pretty cool things happened. People in the crowd at the conference grabbed me and grabbed Artis afterwards and asked how they can get involved. People started sharing their stories with me and with Artis about the role that mentorship had played in their own lives, either by them serving as mentors for young people or the mentors that help them succeed in life. People talked with Anna and others at the OAAA about how great it would be if we could expand this relationship beyond Clear Channel to the entire industry. And so about a year ago, Anna, Artis CMO, and I, we had breakfast. We sat there for about an hour and a half and talked about our industry. We talked about how we've always supported the causes that matter in our communities. We talked about the power of out-of-home and the important markets, audiences, and inventory that could support Big Brothers Big Sisters beyond the reach and impact of Clear Channel on our own. And we talked about talent, how critically important it is to bring new people, new voices into our industry, how we need to focus on building the next generation of out-of-home leaders and team members, and how, let's be honest, not too many young people grow up wanting to work in the billboard industry, unless, of course, it's your family business. So, in fact, most people, young people, don't even think of out-of-home as a career opportunity for them, nor do they realize the range of jobs and career opportunities that exist in our industry, many of which appeal to people who may choose not to go for a four-year degree, but have skills and talent that are critically important to the businesses that we run. And so we came up with a plan for the out-of-home industry to partner directly with Big Brothers Big Sisters to focus on building our industry's talent pipeline, on introducing out-of-home as a career opportunity for the thousands of young people supported by Big Brothers Big Sisters, in particular, their fastest growing segment, 18 to 25-year-olds. And we talked about how nicely this aligns with the mission and the focus of our industry's initiatives around diversity and building the next generation of future leaders, like Mark and Candace just talked about. So it's been a busy year, and I'm really excited to be back to talk with you guys further about this important work. But I'm more excited to once again have the pleasure of introducing Artis. As the first Black CEO in their 120-year history, Artis Stevens is spearheading a powerful mission to leverage mentorship as a transformative solution to society's greatest challenges. Driven by a bold vision to engage 1 million supporters and strategic partners, Artis has dramatically expanded Big Brothers Big Sisters' reach through innovative methods such as the It Takes Little to Be a Big campaign in 2023, which engaged Big Brothers Big Sisters alumni and tens of thousands of potential donors, mentors, and ambassadors. And I'm really proud to say that Clear Channel played a key role in helping to launch that campaign. Under Artis's leadership, Big Brothers Big Sisters has more than doubled its annual revenue, achieved recognition as one of the top 10 most trusted nonprofits in the country, and grown its reach considerably to serve more underserved communities. Artis has devoted his 25-year career to empowering young people and transforming broken systems that are holding back younger generations. He's been featured on Good Morning America, the Today Show, CNBC, the New York Stock Exchange. He was named to Worth Magazine's Worthy 100 list in 2023, and last year, he was named to the Forbes BLK Top 50 list. He's an amazing, inspiring speaker. He's a friend. He's a partner, not just to Clear Channel, but now to the entire out-of-home industry. I'm excited that you all have the opportunity to learn more about Artis, the important work that Big Brothers Big Sisters is doing, that he's leading, and how we're collaborating as an industry to build our talent pipeline. And before I bring out Artis, we're going to show you a quick video of how we kicked off this partnership a couple of months ago with what we called a mentorship market ride in New York City. So if you can roll the video.
In America today, 10 million kids like me don't have a mentor. That's why Big Brothers Big Sisters of America and the Out-of-Home Advertising Association of America teamed up to do something big. The vision? To inspire and transform the next generation of out-of-home advertising leaders, young people like me, through mentorship.
There's so many different career paths you can go down in out-of-home. You just need to identify what you want to do and there's an option for you.
Mentorship to me, it's very important. You know, I'm constantly trying to find somebody who I can look to as a mentor.
It's someone that you can look up to, someone that you can ask questions about it, and it's been great.
This partnership embodies the belief that meaningful connections can transform lives. That happened for me during a mentorship market ride in New York City. When Big Brothers Big Sisters Littles connect with professionals who open new doors and share their journeys, something magical happens. We discover not just an industry, but possibilities we never imagined for ourselves.
Being a first-generation college student, I'm so thankful to have mentors, and a dream of mine is to become a mentor myself for upcoming generations.
Together, we're not just opening doors, we're building a community where every young person can find their path forward through the power of mentorship.
So to learn more about Big Brothers Big Sisters and this new partnership that we've just announced, please welcome and be inspired by Artis Stevens.
You said it, man. Thanks, man. All right, thank you, man. All right. Good morning, everyone. No, wait a minute. I heard I was at the OAAA conference. I heard all the energy, power, all the incredible things, power of presence. And by the way, I'm a preacher's kid, right? So we believe in call and response here. So I need some call and response. So I say good morning, and then y'all yell back, good morning, artists. Y'all ready? Good morning. Good morning, artists. All right, there we go, there we go. So let me first just say thank you to Dan, and we'll be talking a little bit more here in a second. Also to Mark and Candace for their leadership, inspiration, as well as Anna and the work that we've been doing across partnership, right? And you're gonna hear much more about that in a moment. I'm also just really excited to share that I have 4 of our incredible leaders. So we are an incredibly large network with 230 local affiliates all across the country serving 5,000 communities. And the way that works, and the reason why it's so impactful, is because we have local leaders on the ground who make the impact, who drive leadership, and who build partnerships with amazing folks like you. And I'm proud to have 4 of them right in the room with us today. Katie, Connie, Lauren, and Mark, where are you guys? Right here, stand up so everybody can see. Give them a round of applause. So this is the greater New England area, Boston, other areas across. So if you're in the area, be sure that you connect with them and figure out how you can volunteer, get involved, and support. So let me start here. And where I want to start is commonality, right? There's a lot happening in our country. There's a lot of things that tell us about what divides us, right? What creates dissension, why we're disconnected. But what are the things that connect us, right? That tell us who we are? The idea of human spirit, human connection, human alignment. Every single one of us in this room, we have a story. We have a story about what got us here today. The things that inspired us, the things that connected us, the things that drove you, that gave you ambition, that challenged you, that helped you to get through adversity. But there's also something else that we share in that story, that none of us got here alone. That there was someone in our lives, people in our lives, that gave us motivation, inspiration, guidance, sometimes that even gave us resistance. And we use that to fuel ourselves. See, we are all interconnected. And this power of our mission of Big Brothers, Big Sisters is about this idea of connection to ensure that every young person in this country knows, feels, and believes that there's somebody. And I want to start, what I'm going to share with you all really quick, with a video. And this video, some of you may have seen it because it was aired during the Super Bowl. And the story behind this video is that I told you about 230 agencies, 5,000 communities. There was one major city that Big Brothers Big Sisters was not in. New Orleans, Louisiana. And it happened during the Katrina. And we never got back in until now. And we launched Big Brothers Big Sisters of New Orleans with the NFL and the New Orleans Saints during the Super Bowl. And it was this idea about being present in the life of young people, being present in the community. And it's so apropos to the theme of the power of presence and what you're talking about, because this is the idea of a village, of a community. And I want to show you this video because every single young person you're going to see in it is from New Orleans. You'll see players, you'll see connectivity, but hopefully what you'll see most is a powerful story that talks about the power that we all have. Let's watch. There we go, y'all. I know it. Does anyone feel like they want to get up and play a game or something? All right, no, I'm messing with you. All right, so listen, I am somebody. We're a mission where everybody is somebody. And when you think about our mission, 120 years old, we're celebrating 120 years this year as a national movement. Born in New York City as an alternative innovation to the juvenile justice system. And what's so powerful about that is that we were not born because everything was going okay. Everything was all right. We were born because kids were at struggle, at challenge. But we responded as a community to say that there's a better way. There's an opportunity and a connection to ensure that every kid feels like there's somebody. And that each of those somebodies then help to contribute and create more to their community and to their surroundings, to this country. This organization, 5,000 communities, 20 million alumni. Anyone, show of hands, who've been a Big Brothers or Big Sisters alum, mean you are big or little. Thank you guys for your service. Thank you for your commitment. 90% affinity and awareness of our mission. 6 million young people served. The power of what we do is the power of understanding that young people have need, but need is not only what defines them. We know that in our mission today, we serve all communities, diverse communities. 66% of the communities that we serve come from communities of color. 60% a single parent household. 55% live in poverty or near poverty. 20% has a parent that's incarcerated or in the parole system. But here's the most important thing you should understand about every single number that you see on this slide. None of them define who our kids are. What defines them is access, opportunity, connection, mentorship, empowerment. And those things lead them to this place of understanding that what we do means that mentorship matters. It matters in our lives. It matters in the lives of young people. It matters reciprocally. 90% of our bigs say that the young person in their life made more impact on their life than they made on theirs. This is the power of what we can do as communities and what we can do as human beings. And we know it works. Just this year, we released, in partnership with a researcher from Harvard and the Department of Treasury, data that looks at 30 years of economic data that compared kids in our program to kids who were not. 20%, kids who were in our program, 20% more likely to go to college. Generated 15% more earning. Closed the economic gap between them and their mentor, who typically was more well off. And a lot of the kids that we serve, typically in lower income households, they grew up to close that economic gap by 2/3. It works. Relationships work. The connectivity of when we bring people together works, and there's power in it. We know it works in the stories that we see. The two people that you see here, the two little people that you see here, are Mavis and Ryder. This is a picture of Mavis and Ryder at New York Stock Exchange. Their first time ever being on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange. Why is this story so powerful though? Because I remember I gave a speech, and little Ryder over there has a little nice fro there, real cool. Ryder comes up to me and says, "Hey, I really loved your speech, but I'm only gonna remember one thing." I said, "Okay." I said, "What's that?" He said, "If you can see it, you can be it. If you can see it, you can be it." See, that's what we do, is we give people, kids, young people, the opportunity for exposure, for experiences, for things that they can see. When they walk in a billboard and they see a billboard in their community that looks like them, or has a story about them, or a connection to the mission, it brings them life. It brings them energy and support because it's the present around right there in the places that they are. It's stories like Marvin, who learned by his big how to tie a tie for the first time in his life. See, that's what we do. And we do that in the sense of teaching and telling stories, in the same way that your media and your communication teaches and tells stories. All of these things are interconnected. It's the power of understanding the beauty of connections and seeing role models. And we see role models in our stories every single day. When you look at Ariana here, and you look at the idea of the connection that she had with her mentor, and seeing that her mentor was a news reporter, and her being able to say, I want to follow a career of journalism, and being able to see it behind the scenes. So that when you have young people who go behind the scenes in the work that you do, you not only open up the idea and the expression for them, you open up this idea of what they can do and the talents they can bring to your industry, to your work, to your talent pipeline, to your employees, to your morale. It is all connected and it is all reciprocal. That is the power of making everyone feel like they're somebody. And we know that every kid in this country deserves somebody. So what's the task? Here's the task. 10 million kids. 10 million kids in our country that don't have access to a positive mentor in their life, who need connection, who need relationships. On our national waiting list today, there are 21,000 kids who are waiting for a mentor. 21,000. And I should even rephrase that. 21,000 kids who are ready for a mentor. Ready for a mentor. Because they have all the potential in the world. They have all what it takes in the world. What they just need is a friend, is a platform, is a connection, is a way to bridge a gap that can help them get over to the bridge that they need to reach their full potential. That's not just the work of Big Brothers, Big Sisters. That's the work of our entire community. So how do we do that? How do we as a community come together around young people, around our own communities, around industry, around workforce, around development, around mental health? It starts by bringing the message in, helping people to understand, to become more informed, to become more educated, to become more engaged. That's how our mission has grown for 120 years. But the way our mission is going to grow for another 120 years is that we're going to find partners like you who've been helping us all throughout this year to build a story, to build the story that I just shared with you, to connect on the ground in communities, and to make everyone feel like they're somebody. So, here's what you can do. I would love to stay connected with each of you. Reach out to me on LinkedIn. If we're not connected, I know I was here last year in California with you all, but if we didn't get connected in, LinkedIn, find me on LinkedIn. I would love to connect with you. Stay connected, share the story. Share stories about your mentorship. What helped you, what inspired you. Join to become a big if you're interested. I pointed out a few of our local leaders here. No matter where you are, remember 5,000 communities. We are somewhere close to you. Connect with us. We would love to have you and love to have you as part of our mission. And then inquire how you can partner. We have to tell the story. 10 million kids are waiting. 10 million kids are ready. But they need the story out there about all the power and potential they have and the impact that they can make in the community when they just are given a chance. And then donate. We don't charge our kids or our volunteers one dime. And there's a reason for that. One, because we want to be proximate to our communities. We want to make sure that every kid and every volunteer has access to this mission. But to do that, it means that we have to ensure that we can support and sustain our mission, the staff, the background checks, the technology, everything that it takes to support. But when you are helping us to tell that story, that is more people that come in and volunteer their time and volunteer their donations to support this work. And that's the story, y'all. And here's what I'll just leave you with. That when you do this, when you take that one step, that one action to change that one life goes on to change their surrounding, goes on to change their community, goes on to change this country, and ultimately goes on to change this world. Thank you all. Appreciate having me here.
Thanks, man. That was great. So, Artis and I are gonna have a quick chat, follow up on what he just spoke about. Couple of things that I wanted to talk about. So the future leaders are all sitting over there, waving to the camera. This is one of my favorite things that I found out. 10 future leaders, 2 of them are bigs.
What's up, y'all? There you go.
This isn't a new thing, right?
It's not.
I wasn't able to see, but you asked for a show of hands. There were people who put their hands up, right?
Yeah.
This isn't a new thing, right? 18 to 25-year-olds, fastest growing segment for you in terms of mentees to support. So let's talk about the mission here of this partnership. What's the role that mentorship can play in building our next generation of leaders in this industry? Whether we're talking about the future leaders or just in general, finding people and attracting them to the industry.
Yeah, and again, thank you, my friend, and thank you for all your work. And I heard about your award. Huge congrats to you,
Thank you,
my friend. Huge congrats.
But let's talk about you.
Yeah. So here's the power, right? You know, I mentioned before, and you just sort of touched on it. Here's one thing that we found out. So we traditionally serve 5 to 18. We are interesting as a youth organization because most of the young people that we serve tend to skew older, right? They're 13 and above. However, during the pandemic, we start to see something interesting, that our fastest growing population that we were serving was 18 to 25 young adults. Why is that? Because kids were raising their hand and they were saying, what's next? How do I fill out a FAFSA? How do I navigate that job interview? Okay, what happens when I even get my first check, when I get on the job? How do I manage money, right? And in response, what our local Big Brothers, Big Sisters started to do is to say, hey, we can't just graduate kids out of the program. We have to stay with them and figure out ways about how we continue to provide guidance and support, right? So what we saw was this idea of bridging the skills that young people need, particularly durable skills, right? So those essential skills in their life, things like confidence, things like how do you navigate, resilience, showing up on time, task completion, the things that we knew were complementary, but here was what was beautiful about it. At the same time, you had companies raising their hand, because we work with 350 companies all across the country. So companies are raising their hands saying, we need to find great talent. We need to open more people up to our industry because we're not finding the type of talent that we need across our industry. And we need to start not just wider, but we need to be able to go deeper and sometimes start that experience younger. Not that they're going to start working younger, but the idea of exposure at a younger age. And then that's where we saw ourselves fitting in, right? And we saw ourselves fitting in as a solution to be able to connect the bridge to say, here's this incredible talented workforce that has incredible potential, but that's a hidden gem in our country. And here's companies, corporations, media, entities, education that want this talent. Why not us as an organization that has 120 years of experience, evidence-based outcomes of mentorship to be that bridge and to help provide the solution across, not just for impacting young people, but also changing the direction of our country and our communities.
That's awesome. And that's obviously the goal of this partnership. As I mentioned before, we want to get more people to see that, working in the at-home industry is a really viable, exciting career opportunity for them. We showed the video before, and you showed a photo of the littles that we took around New York City and showed them the at-home industry in New York City. Mm-hmm. One of them was a young man named Jamie, who's a junior in college right now. He's studying economics. He's a numbers guy. He had no idea the role that data and analytics are playing in our industry. So like 3 or 4 weeks ago, we met at Starbucks and we got some coffee and we walked around Midtown Manhattan for about an hour and just talked about what he wants to do, what we want to do. Tell us more about how people can do 120 agencies, 230 agencies.
230,
right?
yeah.
There's not a market that anyone in this room operates in that Big Brothers Big Sisters isn't present. And the partnership we have and the QR code there, if you scan it, will take you to a landing page to learn more about it. There's not a market that's represented here that doesn't have the potential to work with your team. How can these people get involved?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, and it's really simple, right? We have a campaign that's actually called "It Takes Little to Be Big," right? You all have been helping us to lead out on it. It's a really powerful campaign, and the idea is just this: most people, when they come in mentorship, they think it's big, right? Either I don't have the time to do it, or I feel like the burden is too much, right? And what we're doing is dispelling that. We're dispelling the idea of what it takes to actually mentor someone. Typically, when you come in our program, it's 2 times a month, right? An hour per visit. And let me tell you, most of the bigs who come into our program, they want to do it more, and the kids are like, hey, I need a little bit more time, right? And really what we've done is even diversified the ways that people can mentor. So sometimes it's more of that traditional set. Other times it's very like quick career type of mentoring. We've even explored episodic mentoring, technology-enabled mentoring. So there's different types of ways that people can get involved. And that's to say to everyone in this room that you know that there are ways when you work with our local Big Brothers, Big Sisters, they are incredibly savvy and creative about getting you engaged and getting you volunteering. So whether your volunteering is working directly with a young person, whether you're helping to market for a program or an event, or a fundraising activity, whether you're on a board or a local board, whether you choose to be, you're an alumni and you want to be an alumni advisor, there are so many different ways to get involved in our mission. So that's your involvement aspect. The other part is the storytelling, right? So we want and we hope that we can be partners with you in leveraging what you do out in the community, whether that's through digital, whether that's through some of your traditional media that you put out in the community. How can we tell stories together that can be mutually beneficial? And I'll tell you, that's one thing that's really important for us, Dan. We don't come into a conversation and say, hey, we're just a charity, help us out. We say, how do we build partnership? And how do we build things that are mutually valuable? So there are some that are pro bono, right? And we have those. You know very well we do things that are low bono, right? And do things that's direction too. And we sometimes bring in third partners, right? And we found that to be an interesting way, or even bring in sometimes our influencers and our alumni to say, how can we add value where there are prominent people that may be part of the story that we're telling together? So it's a value add for all the partners that are involved, and we do some really cool things together. So there are a number of ways to get involved. I would say it's easy enough for going into our website and putting in the zip code to find your local agency, or if you're looking for more of a national partnership, you see the guy up here, we're able to talk with you and figure out ways that we can be creative, either nationally, regionally, or in some other curated ways.
That's awesome. I'm going to end real quickly with a story. I was speaking to your CEOs before coming up, and Katie shared with me that a new mentor signed up to be a big, and you asked, how did he find out about Big Brothers Big Sisters? On a billboard in Massachusetts. Our media works, it reaches people, it can make an impact, and it can help you guys grow your staff and grow the talent of your companies. So, Artis, thank you. We're being told to wrap. Keep doing this all day long.
And can I just say this real quick as we wrap? I just want to give a plug out to your media, because for a lot of our local agencies, it's the touchstone, right? It's what people see in any and every community. And when we talk about access and giving everyone access, your media goes into communities that a lot of media doesn't go into. So I just want to applaud you and say thank you for the work that you're doing with us, and we hope you continue it.
That's awesome. Thanks, man.
Great job, man. Thank you.